Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about some of the top furniture painting mistakes and how to avoid them. All right, but before we get started, I want to go ahead and just give you a quick little rundown of my coaching membership group. In this group, it is a paid coaching membership group for creatives. In this group called the Barnyard, you will learn how. All right, instead of me standing here talking to you about all of the benefits, I'm gonna list them right here for you. If you're interested in joining this group, go here and join today. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make when it comes to furniture painting is not prepping your piece. Although it may look beautiful and clean, it's not ready for paint. The other thing, there are some paint companies that will market no prep. No prep, no such thing. Let me tell you, after 7 years of doing this, you skip that step and you're gonna have issues. So let me show you a couple of the products that I like to use for my prep. All right, so here are some of the furniture prep cleaners that I love to use. This is Crud Cutter. It is a degreaser, deglosser. It's an all-in-one, already pre-mixed. All you do is out of the bottle and you're ready to go. This is made by Fusion Mineral Paint. This is a TSP alternative. Instructions are on the back and it is a concentrate, so you'll want to mix it in a bottle with water and they'll tell you exactly how much to go ahead and do. And then this one here, this is my Furniture Prep by Lily Moon Paint. And this one is an odorless and residue-free cleaner. Again, it's a concentrate and they'll tell you exactly how much to use. And the cool thing about this one is you don't need to wipe down with water afterwards. That's the residue-free part. With the TSP alternative and the Crud Cutter, I would recommend wiping down with a clean cloth with water to take away any of the residue that they may leave behind that can react with your paint. And then the other thing I would suggest is a Scotch-Brite pad. This will really get in there and clean the piece of furniture, and then you wipe it off with paper towels afterwards. Skipping that step, in my opinion, big mistake. Don't do it. You want your piece to last as long as it possibly can, then get it started right by prepping it. Another mistake that's easily avoidable, before you start painting that furniture, go through your piece. Make sure that all the drawers slide well. Make sure there's no broken hardware. Go through it and inspect it, because there's nothing worse than having a freshly painted piece and then figuring out that you have to fix something. The next mistake that is easily avoidable as well is priming. And that is one of the most frequently asked questions that I get. Do I have to take the extra time and prime my piece? If you don't, let me tell you, you might have some issues. So there's times when you want to prime your piece. I say anytime you're painting a bright white, prime your piece. If you potentially have a bleeder, mahogany, golden oak, red oak, cherry, any of those are bleeders. So no matter how many layers of paint you put on, it's not going to stop bleeding through and turning it yellow or pink. So priming is essential for bleeding. Also for adhesion. So a lot of times you got to put your paint to the scratch test, and so many people don't do this. They go straight to paint and they don't realize their paint is slick surface. They need primer for adhesion. Let me show you some of my selections of primers that I use in the shop that can help you avoid this mistake. There are tons of primers out there on the market. Which one do I choose? I do have a video on priming which goes into in more depth different type of primers, but this is a good general purpose, all use type primer by Bin 123. I'm showing you the spray cans because in my opinion, when you spray the primer, it goes on so much nicer than brushing primer. As well, brushing primer can ruin your brushes because they're not easily, a product that's easily cleaned out sometimes of your brushes. This is a really good one for being a filler type primer. Now, this one says automotive on it, but guess what? You can use this on wood, and I do it all the time. I use this when I have kind of a heavy grain, or maybe I've got some really teeny tiny light non-penetrated type scratches on the surface, and this helps to fill it in. Then you have a shellac base primer, which is more for bleed through. This is kind of the be all do all when it comes to priming cherry and mahogany and any of those other bleeding type wood species. I like to use this. And the last one that I'm going to recommend for you is this. This is Fusion's mineral paint, and it is Ultra Grip. And this is like a bonding type primer. It goes on clear, so you can actually distress through it as well. But it's great for slick surfaces or non-real wood surfaces like laminate. All right, another common mistake that people make is thinning their paint. Now, with that being said, if you are spraying your paint, thinning it is essential in order to push it through the sprayer. Sometimes the paints are a little too thick in consistency and can't perform well. But if you're brushing your paint, my recommendation is not to thin. Don't take your water and pour directly into your paint. Not a good idea. It's going to get too runny, and that leads us to our next mistake, runs and drips. What I would suggest, and this is what I always do, start with a wet brush, a damp brush. So go ahead, run this under water, wring it out so that it's not dripping. We just want it wet or damp. That will help when you're applying your paint for a nice, even, smooth finish. And then get one of these. Now you can tell I use this quite a bit. It's covered in paint. This is a fine hairdresser's water mister bottle. I'll link it below in the show notes. This won't put big droplets. You can spray this directly onto your piece or continue to spray your brush throughout your job. That will help with the ease of application, the smoothness of application, and you won't get runs and drips. Another mistake that you want to avoid, and this is probably the second most frequently thing that I get asked, and that is top coating whites. Should I do it? What's going to happen if I do? I actually have 2 other videos on my channel that cover this, so we're just going to hit on this just a tiny bit. This is my top coat here that I use. It's a water-based top coat. First of all, with paint, always use a water-based top coat. Oil-based will amber or yellow, and you don't want that to happen. There's a couple of tips that you can use. You can top coat your whites by adding your white paint into your top coat. That always helps. Priming helps. Using a stain blocker primer, that's going to help. So don't just go paint your piece without a stain blocking primer and hit it with directly the water-based. Even if it says non-yellowing, let me tell you, in my experience, I've used all of the top coats, non-yellowing or not, and they still yellow. Now, sometimes they will yellow, not instantly, but over time. And who wants that to happen? Brushes. Brushes are an investment. The biggest mistake you can make, not taking care of your brushes. As you can see, I have a wide array of brushes here behind me. Some of them I've had for, well, 7 years, and they've lasted me because I take care of them. So a few things that you want to avoid. First of all, laying brushes flat or standing them up will make the brush kind of fray out, because when you clean it, all of that water sediment is weighing down the brush and it will fan it out. Hang them if you can. The other thing, use a brush cleaner. I use this brush cleaner by Fusion. There's several on the market that you can get, but you can also use Dawn soap. That works very well. Now for that really tough, what do? I left it overnight and it's completely dried. Well, brush cleaners can help that, or little mineral spirits too. Take care of your tools and they'll take care of you. One of the most common mistakes people make, loading their brushes up too heavily with paint. Let me show you the wrong way and the right way. That is too much paint for a project. You should not have your entire brush filled with paint. That's how your brush should look. That way, when you're getting ready to start your project and you put this on there, this is loaded up with paint way too much. You're going to get runs, you're going to get drips. Less is more on your brush as well as your project itself. And lastly, a mistake that a lot of people make, and I did too in the first few years of doing this, and that is not top coating your pieces. Top coating your pieces is going to add that extra longevity and durability for the life of the piece. Not top coating it, you're taking a chance. Now, I know today there's tons of products on the market, including this one that I love, that has a top coat built into it. But I typically add an extra top coat on top of my painted projects to make sure that they last a lifetime. So don't make the same mistakes I made and not top coat your pieces. Not only will they look beautiful, but they're gonna last forever. All right, guys, that is it. We're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for being subscribers. If you aren't subscribed, make sure you go hit that subscription button. Helps keep my channel supported and keep me going. As well, hit that post notification bell so you know when all of my latest videos are released. Now, if you have any positive comments or questions, make sure you leave them down below. I love engaging with you guys and I will always answer your questions. And if you liked this video, not only give it a thumbs up for me, but there's a new feature here on YouTube right down below. It's a heart and it's called Super Thanks. So if you really like this video, make sure you super thank me. Thanks again, you guys, and I'll catch you on the next video.